Hi guys, welcome to the video. My name's Paul, this is Plan Z. Hopefully this finds you very well. Today we're focused on the rectifier and we're going to be changing cabinets around in here. But before we do, let's have a little look at what's going on in the output EQ. Hopefully this finds you very well. This is the second session on the rectifier where we've looked at how I'm dialing the amp in. Now we've got the cabinet split, so I've taken the EQ and split that as well. We've got a ribbon 121 on the left, and what I'm doing here is I'm bumping the overall level by 1, and because I'm doing that and it's adjusting all of the EQ by 1, I take some of the highs and lows off by 1, so it creates like a curved shape to the EQ. And then I take a little dip of 1 on a Q of 2 of 2.15 on the ribbon 121, no high-low cuts here. But on the this side is managing the 57, so I'm doing exactly the same thing, but the frequency here is 3.15, and that's just softening some harshness around the that area on the GT1000 cabs. This is my medium gain. Let's come down to the amp. Medium gain, gain at 50, no sag, resonance at 5, got the level at 70. We've got 20, 70, 70 and 90 on the presence, but when I go to high gain, the bass drops to 10, the mids up to 80, the trebs just kind of 77, presence stays the same. The gain goes up to 100, the level drops by 2. Okay, so there I'm going between high gain and medium gain. Let's boost the medium gain. Let's go to high gain, not boosted. Let's boost it. Okay, so that's sounding quite nice in the room. I do have a low gain here, but let's not get distracted. I covered that and I've been changing it, but let's not get distracted. I want to try and keep this video concise and short and get to the cabinets. So I want to show you how the EQ is set up, and if you don't understand EQ on a parametric EQ and some of the terms I use in just a moment, I want to keep this video short, so for those of us who've been following, it's not a drag. If you're not familiar with EQ and how best to use it, I did a little video that will help us out using a GT1000. I'll link it below. It's called Understanding EQ. Now this video we're going to just crack straight in. So here I'm dealing with the lows, everything at 0, and then I take on a notch Q, minus 6 dB, 160 Hertz, it's a boomer, 250 Hertz, it's a boomer, the same way, and 125 at my low cut, leaving space for the drums and bass. Now here I'm dealing with low mids, so I keep that the same, everything's level. Then I'm taking out 315, it's a honker, on the same notch Q, minus 6, doing 500 here on a Q of 4. But because I've managed the lows the way I have, I could, if I wanted, have that on a 2. But it's probably more mix friendly on the 4. Okay, now when I go to the high gain, it does open up to the 2 just to take some of that thickness away. Okay, so that's dealing with the EQ before the amp. The EQ after the amp, the high cut is the 4, and then I'm dealing with 315 on a notch Q, it's a whistler. Take it out 6 dB, and I'm doing the same at 250, it's also a whistler. And then here, because all I've done is take out highs, I just boost the highs by 6, leaving the lows and the level alone. Now this EQ, I spoke about it in the last video, the first session, which I'll link below, session 1 on the rectifier, where we've got options here. I've got a graphic EQ set up, so I can have this without any EQ. This is just the basic tone. Put on a graphic EQ with a smiley face. Or I've got a parametric EQ that gives me some meat. Now in the parametric EQ, I'm dropping the level by 3, and when you do that, it drops everything in a straight line. So I bump the highs and lows by 3 as well, so I retain the highs and lows because I don't want to lose those at this point. And what I am doing is boosting 800 on a Q of 1 by 3 dB and 1.6K Q of 1 by 4 dB. So it's giving me some oomph in the lows, in the low mids. Now if I want to change the shape of the tone, and we'll get to that in other videos, I will, I'll change the shape of this EQ. But at the moment we've got kind of 3 simple tones just by turning the EQ on and off or changing between graphic and parametric, okay? Let's boost. Okay, so it's kind of really shaping the tone there. Now let's get to the cabinets now. So we've been listening to the 57 on this side with the cabs from the last update. I've got the medium distance, 3 on the axis for the cone, and the level at 100. Then on this side we've got the ribbon 121, medium distance, but we're in the center of the cone, and the level is at 100. Take off the boost. Now let's go to the original cabinet and see what happens. It's nice, but it just doesn't have as much stump. Now this is a 1/8. If you're looking for those kind of radio type tones, a 1/8 is a good place to start. Now when we did this with the Plexi, we found we had to adjust the levels quite a lot. And although that was pokey, I didn't have to adjust the level. So let's see how we get on across these other cabs. So that's a 110. It's pokey. There's no low end in it. 112. There's your low end. But the levels are good. I've not had to change anything yet. Now this is a 112.2, which is the Fender Deluxe. And what you could do with this amplifier is dial the sag in and get a more vintage type tone using the Fender cones. Does that make sense? But with a kind of a sagless patch, it's an alternative. 212. Boosting it. Brutal. All right. So we've got 212.2 is now the JC120. So this would be modeling like a solid state. Which again, if we dialed in some sag, that could sound really nice on this if you were looking for a more vintage type tone. But here it's an alternative. Let's go high again. Interesting. Now the 212.3 would be a Fender Twin. And here with this, I probably would want to start looking at the amp level rather than the mic level. Let's try. So that's actually quite a thick tone going there. That's quite nice. I'm going to bring the amp level back to where it was originally. And try the Vox on it, which will probably, yeah, let's adjust that level. So it's an alternative tone that you could stick on a stereo amp, let's say, and that wouldn't fight with your main tone. Does that make sense? So let's just adjust that level again and calm down here to matchless. Again, which I think this would sound quite good as the vintage. Again, probably do want to bring the level up a touch. Not got the kind of weight you want, but probably more of a vintage dialed in amp would sound better through that. So now, oh, actually, let's try the 410s. We've got a bassman here as well. I wonder, let's just see what happens if we boost our bass. I just want to see how that sits with a beat and a bass. Need to watch the bass with the boost. But yeah, I kind of cranked it more than I maybe needed to there. But that's quite a cool tone. Now we've got a bassman. I kind of feel like that needs to come down just a touch in the mic. But I might be wrong. It might be just that it's intense in my headphones here. Level looks pretty good. So now we're into the 412s. Yeah, definitely needed to tone that bassman back a bit. Gonna boost it. Yeah, that sounds fat. That's nice. But not as pokey and meaty as the new one. Now this is a Marshall cabinet, so we're probably going to want to bump this level a bit. Nice, I like that. So there, you know, it's less adjusting of mics with this one as opposed when we did the plexi. I was constantly adjusting here. I felt to balance things, but once I'd done that balance, it sounded great. Whereas here, I'm finding it's the amp I just want to adjust the level on. Now this is the original rectifier that we were on at the beginning of the session, which is from the last update. I maybe did need to bring down, didn't need to go as loud on that plexi, but still, it's nice when you crank it. This is now the orange. I feel like I want more level from the amp here, and maybe some bass. Yeah, it's nice. That was boosted. So let's just bring that level back to where it was, take the boost off, and come to the last one I'm going to do, which is the Bogner. Boost it. I feel like the level could come up a touch again, but let's just change the cab back to the Recto and see what happens. I want to try and keep this video short. Oh no, the levels are good, they just hit very different. Okay, I'm going to end that session there. Hopefully you found that insightful and useful. And actually these cabs are very powerful now. A lot of those are very usable if with a minor tweak to our amp, because we've got the EQ sets just right. They're balanced quite nicely. It sounds really good in the room. That output EQ is really helping soften and shape things so things are more focused, and hopefully we'll feel that difference between the videos if we go back and look at old ones as an audio. I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye-bye.